Are you an Australian florist, stylist or decorator? And do you get questions from your customers about dried and preserved flowers and don't have all the answers? Well, you're not the only one, but guess what? Next time you do, because in this video I will answer the following 6 questions. 1. The difference between dried and preserved flowers. 2. Why do florists love dried flowers? 3. Why is there limited availability? 4. Are all dried and preserved flowers allowed into Australia? 5. What is the preserving process? And 6. What about Australian grown, dried and preserved flowers? Hi, my name is Ade Broersen, co-owner, marketing and sales director at InSeason Australia and New Zealand. Okay, let's start with the difference between dried and preserved flowers. In short, dried flowers are completely dehydrated and lose the original look and feel of the fresh flower, while preserving flowers allows the flowers to maintain the natural look and feel of a fresh flower. Simple, right? Floral Daily, an online meeting place for the international horticultural industry, wrote actually a great article in more detail about the differences. Have a look at the links below. So why do florists love dried flowers? Well, not only Australia is experiencing high demand. Worldwide, event florists, stylists and decorators are looking for everlasting dried and preserved flowers for 5 simple reasons. They are long-lasting, therefore reducing waste and improving your bottom line. Consumers like no-fuss flowers and value for money, especially with the current fresh flower prices at an all-time high. In recent years, the range, quality and availability of dried and preserved flowers have improved enormously, making it the must-have flowers around the world. Why is there limited availability? Okay, there are lots of dried and preserved flowers around, that's true, but the range, that's what's limited, especially compared to Europe or the USA. Australia is restricting what dried and preserved flowers are and aren't allowed in our country for biosecurity reasons. And while it's great that strict measures are in place, it is affecting the range and availability of quality dried and preserved flowers. In fact, there are only limited suppliers around the world that are specialized in this niche market. In combination with worldwide increasing demand and ongoing COVID-related supply chain issues, actually driving many importers from air freight to sea freight, causing even longer lead times. And that are only some of the reasons behind the sometimes limited range and availability. Okay, 4. Are all dried and preserved flowers allowed into Australia? No, certainly not. The Department of Agriculture, Water and the Environment plays a critical role in helping protecting Australia's unique environment from unwanted pests and disease. They have a BICON list. BICON stands for Biosecurity Import Conditions System. That is Australia's government's Biosecurity Import Conditions database. This is a great guide to find out if and what potential import conditions might be and if an import permit is required. Australia also works with a permitted species list, specifically for dried and preserved flowers. Here you can find the common name, botanical name and permitted parts for dried flowers and foliages that are allowed in Australia. This list changes regularly, so make sure you check. What is the preserving process? There are many different ways to preserve flowers, all slightly different, but the main approved processes for Australia are by completely immersing them in glycerine or alcohol, completely embedded in resin, and by drying from 3 hours to sometimes up to a few days, dyeing and then treating them with magnesium chloride. So what about Australian grown dried flowers? Although Australian grown dried flowers are in high demand, you gotta be aware that not all are allowed in all states or territories. To give you a few examples, tea tree is not allowed in Tasmania. Pampas grass is not allowed in New South Wales, Tasmania and South Australia, while sorghum is not allowed in Western Australia. One of the main risks is the spreading of myrtle rust via members of the family of the Myrtaceae. Technically, they can arrive in certain states and territories, but they would require treatment with an approved fungicide and be approved by a plant health officer. And at the moment of recording this video, this is the current information we have available of all the states and territories. The Northern Territory confirmed that all dried and preserved flowers are allowed. Queensland confirmed that, generally, all Australian dried and preserved flowers are permitted in Queensland. However, there may be some species which may not come into Queensland from another state. Tasmania actually notified us that members of the family of the Myrtaceae are prohibited due to myrtle rust. a list of their prohibited invasive species, a list of declared pests and diseases, and restrictions relating to weeds and environmental weeds can all be found in the links below. For Western Australia, all flowers must be listed as permitted to be allowed into Western Australia. To check the status of the organism, please check the WA organism list. The basic rule is when sending to WA, you need to provide a genus name for every line. If the flower or plant material has seed, you will need to provide the full botanical name, including genus and species names. South Australia has confirmed to have the same restrictions as Tasmania when it comes to members of the family of the Myrtaceae. Victoria's list of declared noxious weeds and pests can be found in the links below. New South Wales biosecurity officers confirmed, providing the flowers are dried and stored indoors, you may move the dried flowers into New South Wales with no further restrictions. The ACT is at the moment of recording this video still to provide specific information. Before you send anything interstate, I highly recommend doing your research, as the requirements differ between states and territories and they can change frequently. So what should be your takeaways? Number 1. COVID has caused significant supply chain issues, driving many importers from air freight to sea freight, causing longer lead times. This, in combination with a worldwide increased demand, limited supplies and the fact that dried flowers are seasonal, creates a supply shortage. Number 2. Only certain specific drying and preservation methods are approved in Australia, and they are approved by the Department of Agriculture, Water and the Environment. Number 3. Requirements differ between states and territories and can change frequently. When sending Australian grown dried and preserved flowers interstate, check with your local state or territory representative to make sure you are well informed and keep up to date with the latest changes. And 4. The key reason behind the increased popularity of dried and preserved flowers is the increased range, improved quality, and not the least, it is improving your bottom line as there is simply no waste. So what's next? Well, check out our website allinseason.com.au and have a look at the full range of dried and preserved flowers we have available. And also, please do leave a comment. We love to hear your thoughts from the Australian dried and preserved flower industry, and if you found this information useful. Finally, we want to thank you from your team at InSeason, and see you next time.